And perhaps it was from the little excursion they did in Manorville, where 2 of the bodies were recovered, Jessica Taylor and Valerie Mack. So till they have a press conference, or until they return this warrant, and then the Freedom of Information law will go into effect, and the attorneys and the press will all get a copy of it. Till that happens, we're going to be guessing. We're going to be sitting here guessing about why they were there. What did they collect? Any fruitful evidence at this scene? We're going to have to wait to find out.
Beach serial killer case.
Today, a team of investigators returned to the Long Island home of the suspect, Rex Heuermann. They surrounded the house in Massapequa Park and were seen setting up search areas and taking out boxes of potential evidence. CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan there now with the latest details. Jennifer.
Good evening. Nearly 1 year after the arrest, and we were all standing right here. The Homicide Task Force at the Gilgo Beach has returned, this time with new warrants and a new search for Rex Heuermann's house, the house where he grew up here in Massapequa Park.
This is kind of distracting for the whole neighborhood, you know, seeing this over and over again. This is the second time this is going on. And when are we going to put this to rest? When is this going to end?
What are they searching for? Massapequa Park neighbors of accused serial killer Rex Heuermann want to know. Sidewalks and streets filled with the curious, many expressing anxiety as crime scene labs moved in and streets blocked off by state police.
Rex's house once again, so don't know what it is, what they found.
Chopper 2 overhead as a large police presence swarmed the Heuermann red bungalow on First Avenue. Investigators moved boxes past Crime Command buses into concealed white tents. Heuermann's held without bail at the Suffolk County Jail. His family's not at home. Estranged wife Asa Ellerup and both grown children are out of town. They've never been implicated in the Gilgo Beach serial murders.
I can't believe what's going on here right now.
Last July, hundreds of weapons were seized here from Heuermann's basement vault. And just 3 weeks ago, the task force searched woodlands in Manorville. That same task force, along with a Suffolk medical examiner, are here now. More evidence bags carried out.
We've been a great partner with them all along. They executed their warrant this morning. Whatever their warrant calls for, they're going to go in and retrieve whatever's needed and then turn it back over to the courts.
Do you anticipate any additional arrests?
If they're going back to do a search warrant, they have a great part of their investigation that they're still working on.
Heuermann's pleaded not guilty to the murders of 4 sex workers whose remains were found near Gilgo Beach 13 years ago. DNA from a pizza box, burner phones, and cell site data linked the Manhattan architect to the killings, say prosecutors. Did possible evidence seized in Manorville tie them to the Heuermann case? We have not been told. Rex Heuermann is back in court June 18th.
So, no one has the answers to our questions. The Nassau County Police Commissioner, Patrick Ryder, who was just on the air, gave more of a statement than anyone else. He happens to be a great guy. He's been on this show before, Patrick Ryder, police family. Great guy. He was formerly NYPD, and then he rolled over to Nassau County. So Nassau is involved in this case. Perhaps they're not named as being on the task force, but they are involved in this case. So, you know, recapping all the information, there's not a hell of a lot of information in regards to why are they there? We don't seem to know that, do we? We don't know specifically why they're there, what specific evidence. And I as I said, I can just about guarantee it was connected to the Manorville searches that they did a couple of weeks ago. They discovered something during that searches that led them back to Rex Heuermann's house. There's so many twists and turns and so much information in this case and so much evidence that's already been collected. It's just an incredible, voluminous investigation, complicated investigation. And again, we always remember this investigation, besides the other 6 unidentified bodies, is about Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartolome, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. And we always want to keep in mind that there's real victims in this case, you know, not just names, real victims that we always want to remember that's what this case, and that's what the outstanding job that law enforcement has done on this case is all about. And the other thing is, someone asked really, what is going to be the defense in this case? I will guarantee you that Robert Brown, who is Rex Heuermann's attorney, goes right after Chief James Burke, even though that was years ago and he had nothing to do with solving this case. But James Burke, who was the chief of the Suffolk County Police Department, he has a lot of explaining. He will probably refuse to testify. He's no longer on the Suffolk County Police, and he went to prison for about 4 years. And we know, I'm not going to get into his history, but I think that is the area that Robert Brown is going to attack to create doubt, to make it look like there was this big ring of escort users, say. I'll use that term, escort users, and Chief Burke was one of them, and try to come up with a nexus between Chief Burke and Rex Heuermann. And that is, I think, is going to be the defense. Honey, 2,800, he hoards, so I bet one of the officers saw something that they thought was nothing until that mandible search, like a matching shoe or something. Honey, 2,800, it's very possible. Whit H, what's creepy is he was planning on hurting someone else, and that's why the cops move in. Whit H, well, luckily the cops were on his phones and were monitoring him, and they moved in because they were afraid he was going to kill again. Anna at Police Off the Cuff, don't forget Shannon Gilbert, also a victim. It's laughable to think she died by accident. Anna, you know something? I don't know 100% what happened to Shannon Gilbert. I just don't think Rex Heuermann was part of it. Could she have been murdered? Yeah, she could have been, but I don't think Rex Heuermann did it. And I'm conflicted about that. I can't go into it in this short amount of time that we have left.